And welcome, hard hats. It's the big guy, Scott Ferrara, with the Grand Poobah, Mike Perezzini, and we are here for our first official home playoff match of franchise history. Mikey, how you doing, my guy?
I'm doing good. It's good to see, everyone down there. I saw the OG guys are on their way. I believe they just passed through, the George Washington Bridge, and so they should be on their way there either a busload of people or two busloads of people. So it's looking like it's going to be a good game filled with a lot of rugby fans. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Absolutely is going to be a great match. And yes, the OG fans, unfortunately, didn't make the tailgate due to the traffic. We were in contact with them through their entire route. Um, but sometimes that's the breaks, especially with traffic. Right now, if I show you the stands, nobody's sitting in them because it's about 127,000 degrees sitting in the sun right now. We have a lot of fans over at the truck, the steak truck. We have a ton of fans over at the beer station. And there's actually an Italian ice station here today that the big guy is going to hit up right before we kick off.
That Italian ice is going to come in real, nice and clutch. I'll say, all those people, sitting out in the sun watching the game, hydrate. Don't just drink some beer. Drink a little water too. Don't get dried out. But we're at Excelsior. I'm drinking Utica Club. We got other people in here ready to watch this game, and it's sure hopefully it's going to be a good one.
Talk about cheeky play in rugby. And I think the cheeky play we're going to have to see today is how many times that the water comes out with the water boys on times they're not really supposed to come out here, Mikey. I mean, you're going to need to stay hydrated as a reserve. You're going to need to stay hydrated as a starter. Goddamn, you're going to need to stay hydrated as a goddamn fan today. It's a tough one. Luckily, though, if I show you again, we're probably about an hour away from that sun moving down past the stadium. And obviously, that's probably our best bet. Right now, there's a cool breeze. Actually, a lot less of a wind or a breeze than normally we've had here at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. It's just a very passive breeze. I don't think it's going to affect kicking too much today, Mike. You want to run through those lineups for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on one second as we pull them up, and we'll start with Old Glory at 1, Jack Ascaro 2, Nick Sochin, Kyle Stewart at 3, and then Tivitia Quali, Kyle Bailey are your locks. Jameson Fanana Schultz, Loarton Bavaro, and Nico Jones round out the forwards. And then for the backs, it's Danny Tusatala, Graydon Bow, Junior Sao, Doug Frazier, William Talatayana, Marcos Young, and Kurt Baker. As for their bench, it's Facundo Gaddis, Quinton Newcomber, Callie Martinez, Colin Gross, Lagi Hapukina Ui, John Rizzo, Thayton Palmo, and Aleo Dario. As for Rugby New York Ironworkers, Chance Wangluti, Dylan Fawcett, and Caleb Geiger are rounding out your front three. And Dylan Fawcett getting the C for today. Charlie Hewitt and Hamish Dalzell are your locks. And then Brad Tucker, Brendan O'Connor, and Pago are your loose forwards. Connor Buckley at 9, Jason Emery at 10, Ishmael Shabazz at 11, Tangori Walden at 12, 13 is Fossey, 14 is Brooklyn Hardiker, and 15 is Sam Windsor. As for our bench, it's Jaquan Perry, Tivitia Longi, Sam Davies, Mwante Akui, Kara Pryor, Con McManus, Quinn Nwadi, and Nick Feeks rounding out your Ironworkers for today. So, two great lineups. It's going to be, I think, after looking at the game that happened yesterday, even though, Seattle kind of ran away with it, still a great game to watch. You're looking forward to, I think this is going to be a great game to watch as well.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to have a great game of rugby here. And I think the most important guys on both teams are going to be the reserves, like we talked about. It's going to be tough conditions in this heat. Both teams are not used to it. You talked about on the DC side, our boy Langy. Honestly, he's been quiet this season, coming from LA, moving over to OGs. Langy, a promising Eagle, starting his pro career actually with pro rugby at the Sacramento Express, then moving over to Glasgow Warriors, coming back here to LA Giltinis, and then eventually moving to OGDC. But you have to watch him. He's a Pago-like loose forward. He's very good at what he does. He's a search and destroy type of guy as far as tackling. So we're going to see some big collisions when he's off the reserve. And we'll also talk about the starter, Kyle Bailey. Obviously, everybody knows Kyle Bailey in North American rugby as a starting lock for Rugby Canada, playing in Toronto for a long time until finally breaking out of Toronto and coming to OG this season, where he has had a great season playing hard OG team. And obviously, Danny Kusatala at 9 for the OGs is always somebody to talk about. And he seemed to have kind of evolved to have this consistency at 9 that we haven't seen the past 2 seasons. The past 2 seasons, he's been quite inconsistent match to match. But I think he's kind of got a little better on his consistency of getting the ball out quicker and not hitching on his. Talking about our side, Andrew Cohen unfortunately out, Nate Brakely out, and you also have Benjamin Benasso out. So 3 big starters out. But you know what? As always in rugby, it's a game of attrition. Next man up. We had Daquan Perry scoring his first try of his career last season. We have Nick Beach there coming in to take the 15 spot for Sam Windsor at some point. And you have Jason Emery, who's been killing it right now at 10 due to the injury of Jack Heighton. Really, in my opinion, Mike, it's going to be one of those things where if we can beat them up front and play our style in the back, it's a very simple equation. We can win.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say, as for Danny Tusitala, it seems like the thing that was happened the past couple of years with OGs is, with him, he was the star player, and so it was on him to make to make those tries, to put them in that position to score and be successful. And when guys like that, when that happens, sometimes they push it a little too far, and what ends up, happening is they start making mistakes. Now OGs seem to have built a nice team around him, full of other guys that can pick up, the slack and can help out. And so instead of Danny making all the effort and doing everything, other guys around him can help lead the team to success. And so it frees him up to be more successful. Instead of pushing stuff, he could be a little bit more free flowing. I think you hit the nail on the head though too. Guys coming off the bench, it's they're going to be the most important thing right now. That's where it's going to be won. I think that all of the guys coming off the bench for us, I think have really put in a good shift this year. Definitely played some great rugby and have really shown some character, and in some cases starters in their own right, or could be starters in their own right. So it'll be interesting to see when are we starting, when are we going to be moving guys in? Is it going to be the normal forwards get put in a full shift at 60, or are we going to see maybe 50 minutes, 40 minutes at halftime? Guys are going to shift around. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize their subs.
Absolutely. And one of those reserves I think we need to talk about is Shabazz. He's one of the quick ones. He's one of the guys whose motor is 100%, and him coming in maybe the 65th minute might make a difference against the slow backline if OG doesn't make a quick transition. We got Kara Pryor coming off the bench, a set of fresh legs. I think Kara has had a great year this year. He has had discipline issues in previous years, and he's really cut down on those discipline issues and stepped up on the defensive side of the ball. I really like to see him getting his head dirty in the tackles a little more and bringing some consistency to those loose forwards. I think this is going to be a good match, Mike. So let me get your score prediction.
I think I put on the Super Brew. I put Rugby New York by 5. That's an optimistic, or a pessimistic 5, I should say. I think it's going to be, at least a 1-score difference that Rugby New York takes this lead. Hopefully, we see the Rugby New York of the first time that they played the OGs and not the second time, where it was a lot more back and forth, and the OGs pulled it away. I would like to see if we could pull out front and just keep scoring tries like we've done in the past. Who knows what could happen? We could really run the score up, but it all depends on what Rugby New York team decides to show up today. Clearly we haven't last year we didn't slack in the playoffs. The same thing hopefully this year, that we don't slack in the playoffs. We iron out all the mistakes and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. We've got to get hot in the right time, and I think that time is now. I'm going to go with a fully converted try. I'm going to go by 7. They were up by 4 at some point within 10 minutes left, and we hit a quick penalty or maybe a drop goal just to give us that 7-point conversion, that's that converted try to keep us up and make OGs work and maybe make them have some mistakes as they're trying to push the pace a little too much. Also, I'm hoping at the end of this match I can go and let you guys know who won our hard hat player of the year, forward of the year, back of the year, and this year we're introducing a new award. It's actually an award I'm doing. It's called the Big Guys Hard Charge of the Year. I'm hoping to get with the team afterwards to hand out those awards. Again, those guys, all these guys were voted on by you, the hard hats. We really appreciate you guys being, you know, the voice of the team here. There's no team without the fans. Really appreciate it. Shout out to my guys and gals over in Section 6. Again, a lot of them are trying to stay out of the damn heat right now until that whistle blows. But the hard hats over in Section 6 have held it down at every home match this season, you know, keeping the guys alive and getting them through the tough times, and we really appreciate that. And Mikey, I appreciate you. This is the last home match of the season. Hopefully, one and getting to do one of these virtually against New England. But if not,
Absolutely.
dude, I really appreciate you and everything you do for this, for us and for the organization, brother.
Thank you, and we wouldn't be here without you, Scott. So thank you so much for organizing this and putting this together. Very much the heart and soul of this this the supporters club, and it's a a pure pleasure to be part of it.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you. And all the other hard hats, let's go Ironworkers, baby. Let's get the dub, and let's beat New England next week. Talk to you guys later. See you at the next.